What's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about BitConnect and Hex and why they are not the same, like at all. So I've been hearing a lot of people talking out there, comparing BitConnect and Hex and really just brushing it off as Hex is the next BitConnect. And I want to explain why that's not only not true, but really that the projects are kind of polar opposites. So if anybody remembers BitConnect, I know it was 2016, and that's basically a lifetime ago in crypto terms, but it was a straight-up Ponzi scheme, guys. BitConnect was a huge Ponzi scheme, and due to the timing of it, right before the 2017 giant bubble, a lot of people got involved in it, basically that were kind of blinded by greed and didn't really think about what was actually happening here and really just the absurdity of it all. And in hindsight's 2020, I was able to stay out of BitConnect, but hey, maybe if my initial conditions were different and I was at the wrong place at the wrong time, I might have gotten sucked into BitConnect too. So I'm not trying to say everyone that got into BitConnect was stupid or anything like that, but it was a really unfortunate event that took advantage of a lot of the hype from crypto in 2016-17. So I'm on the Wikipedia page here, which you can all Google yourselves, but I figured I would just open it up to explain exactly what it is. And so it was an open source cryptocurrency that was essentially a high yield investment program, which is a type of Ponzi scheme that's pretty common, and they still exist. Cryptocurrency has really accelerated the amount of these that there are out there. But an HYIP, aka high yield investment program, is a Ponzi type scheme or scam that promises an unsustainably high return on investment by paying previous investors with the money invested by new investors. So typical definition of a Ponzi scheme. And anybody that doesn't know the definition, I also see the word Ponzi scheme being thrown around a lot. All a Ponzi scheme is when the old investors are paid by the newer investors. And that cycle continues until you have no more demand, no more investors, and then the whole thing collapses. So it's different than a bubble, and it's different than a pyramid scheme, which is akin to multi-level marketing. Anyway, the plan administrators of BitConnect claimed that they had a trading bot that would pay out 1% a day compounding interest on your investment, right? So this was a promise of return on your investment by BitConnect because they promised you that they had this mythical trading bot that would take your money, it goes into a black box, you don't know what it does, something complicated with arbitrage or something that you probably couldn't understand, but it paid out. And it did pay people out for almost a year. So you can see right here, the interest payouts were determined by a so-called trading bot. The trading bot was the most controversial piece of the BitConnect.co system. And as users have pointed out, the payouts were actually calculated as a fraction of the open and close price of Bitcoin, with a cap and maximum interest. So the liquidity of the BCC or BitConnect cryptocurrency funded the user's ability to exchange their earnings for Bitcoin. Here's an excerpt from the instructions and details on the BitConnect platform, which has been taken down. So now all we really have is, Wikipedia and historical documentation. But you can invest BitConnect coin in BitConnect lending platform exclusively from the BitConnect dashboard. So it's all done through this dashboard online. This investment option involves profiting from BitConnect's trading bot and volatility software, which, did it really exist? Who knows? Probably not. You will receive a daily profit based on your investment option. So this is the guarantee that they made. You will receive a daily profit based on your investment option. It doesn't get much more obvious than that. Upon your investment term completion, you'll receive your capital back from BitConnect lending platform, or optionally, you can reinvest it back in and continue receiving the daily profit. So this took advantage of a lot of buzzwords and appeal to complexity that a lot of people really couldn't understand, and they just wanted they wanted a piece of the new crypto pie, and everybody wanted their little piece. So it was suspended very quickly within a year after launching by the Texas State Securities Board, who issued a cease and desist. And just to show you the level of bubble that we're talking about here, it had an ICO price of 17 cents, went all the way up to $463 in December of 2017, then crashed all the way back down to 40 cents in March 2019. which I don't even know if it's still trading. I would be shocked if it was. But basically, guys, BitConnect offered promises that it couldn't keep, and it required more people to get in after to pay the people that got in first. Hex is nothing at all like. So let's go to hex.win and just take a look at what the website has on here. There are no promises of work from any party that's guaranteeing you any kind of returns, okay? The only guarantee in Hex, and it's not even, it's not even a guarantee, but it's that the code does what it says it will do. And you can read the code. The code has been audited twice publicly and one time privately. So really 3 audits, one economics audit and 2 security audits. All of this stuff is ammo for the proposition that the code will execute like it's expected to. And you can actually go to hex.win and go to tech specs, and you can look at the code yourself. And you make the decision whether or not you want to get into this. Remember, all crypto is highly risky. The prices go up and down all the time. The price rose 100x in 100 days, and then it dropped 40%-ish just yesterday. And now today it's back up 25%. So that is crypto, guys, and that is any cryptocurrency, not just Hex. Because of the volatility, just because it's volatile does not make it a scam. Bitcoin dropped 50% in February. How quickly people forget that Bitcoin dropped 50% in February. Is Bitcoin a scam because it raises and drops in price? No. Things rise and fall in value because people buy them and sell them. It's as simple as that. And the only thing that you can be sure of in Hex, due to the code, not due to a promise, not due to anything else, but due to the code itself and the solidity contracts, is that if you stake your Hex, which you're not obligated to do, you'll make more Hex when you see that stake to completion. Now, for example, if I stake Hex for 7 days and I wait the 7 days, then I can unstake my Hex, and maybe instead of 1,000 Hex, I'll have 1,050 Hex. Totally random numbers, but that's pretty much along the lines of what staking is. Now, you should know before investing or putting any type of money or Ethereum into Hex is that if you stake your coins and you pull out your money earlier than you said you were going to, if you don't see your stake through to completion, you'll have an emergency unstake penalty. And these penalties look a bit like, if you wait 50% or more, you might be lucky to get your principal back. But if you unstake after 1 day and you stake for 100 days, you're going to lose about 90% of your principal value that you put in. Again, this is all denominated in Hex. So there's no payouts in US dollars. There's no magical contract or trading bot that spits out more tokens on a regular basis. You just stake Hex if you want to, and when you see that stake through to completion, you get more Hex. It's as simple as that. Now, that's not to say Hex will be worth anything in the future. And if you don't believe that Hex will be worth more than it is today, well, then you probably shouldn't buy Hex. Maybe you should stay away. Also, if you have a problem with the fact that things regularly rise and fall in crypto, 20%, sometimes even 50% in a day, and if that bothers you, you might want to stay out of crypto altogether. But it doesn't mean Hex is anything like BitConnect. Now, a lot of people also think that just because you can stake means you have to. If you get Hex on an exchange, from Uniswap, for example, and you trade some Ethereum for Hex, that Hex is liquid. That Hex is liquid and you do not have to stake it. Staking is totally optional. Buying is totally optional. And free claiming with your Bitcoin is totally optional. Another piece of Hex that some people might not know is that you can claim it for free at a rate of 10,000 Hex per 1 Bitcoin. You don't have to give your Bitcoin away. You don't have to give away your private keys. All you have to do is sign a digital signature, which is a function in many wallets that proves that you owned Bitcoin on December 2nd. Now, December 2nd was the snapshot date. That's why I say December 2nd. If your wallet didn't have Bitcoin on December 2nd, well, you won't be able to claim any for free from that particular wallet. Now, those are essentially the two ways to get Hex. You can free claim it from proving that you had Bitcoin on a certain day using a wallet signature, or you can acquire it by transforming Ethereum into Hex, either on go.hex.win or on Uniswap exchange or on one of like 20 other exchanges that Hex is listed on. But there is no guarantee that it will be worth more in the future. Nowhere on the site does it say that it's giving you any kind of US dollar payouts or any Ethereum payouts. The only way to make more Hex is by staking it. And it's exactly that. You were paid out in Hex. So there's no central party. There's no promise of work in the future. Hex is a finished product. And I want people to know what they're getting into. If you're deciding about, whether or not you should get involved in Hex, and if you're deciding if it's right for you, and maybe you heard it's like BitConnect, well, I'm here to try to dispel all those myths and tell you exactly why it's not. So no promises. There will be no expectations that Richard Hart or anybody in the community will do any work for you in the future. So in Hex, you have to have no expectations that there will be any improvements ever to Hex. Now, luckily, there have been a lot of people in our great community building on top of Hex because they love the project so much that they've built websites, stats websites, alternatives to go.hex.win, all kinds of really cool game theory stuff. But there shall be no expectations of profiting from the work of others. So remember, if you buy Hex, it's totally your choice. I think it's one of the greatest projects in crypto. In fact, I think it's actually the greatest project in crypto right now. That's just me personally. You don't have to do what I'm doing just because of this YouTube video. But I do want to tell you and make this very clear that Hex is not anything like BitConnect because it's not a Ponzi scheme. There is nobody taking your money and giving it to the old investors. Once you depart with your money, whether that's Ethereum or USDC or any other token that you exchange on Uniswap, once you depart with that and you trade it for Hex, it's gone. And now you have Hex at whatever price Hex happens to be. And it's a volatile token just like all of the other cryptos out there. So if you trade something that you don't want for something that you want more, for example, if I trade one Ethereum for some Hex, I don't care whether Ethereum went because I clearly wanted the Hex more. Every time you make a trade on Poloniex or Binance, do you ask where your money went? No, you don't. It's as simple as that. You exchanged it for something you wanted more. It's also similar to if you ask, if you tip a waitress at a restaurant, do you ask her where she's going to spend that money or what she's going to do with that money? No, you tipped her because you liked the meal and you got what you wanted. When you buy some gummy bears at a 7-Eleven, do you ask the guy at the convenience store what he's going to do with that $2.50? No. So crypto's about taking responsibility for yourself, and that's what you have to do if you get involved in anything. Now, this isn't BitConnect because there's no promises and no expectations from the work of others. There's not even a central party that controls it. With BitConnect, there's a central party that supposedly governed this mythical trading bot. With Hex, all there is a smart contract that lives on the Ethereum blockchain. And the smart contract just sits there forever. It just sits on the Ethereum blockchain, and you can choose to interact with it if you want to, or not. So you can choose to stake it, and staking is interacting with the smart contract, or you can choose to be a trader. Although, to me, Hex is designed to basically disincentivize trading. It aligns people to want to hold it for the long term because of the staking mechanism and the ability to make more Hex on your principal Hex stake. Now, that's only part of the beauty of the design of this coin, in my eyes, but that is the single primary aspect that makes this coin so attractive to me. In a world where people are seeking yield and alternative investments to beat inflation and put their money somewhere where it's working for them, well, I'm going under the gamble, and essentially that's all it is, a gamble, that Hex will be worth more in the future. If I lose everything, that's my fault and my decision. However, I'm not handing my money over to a third party to take it and do some kind of weird trading that nobody understands and to give me a guarantee of regular payouts. There's no guarantees in Hex, so take responsibility for yourself and decide if Hex is right for you by heading to go.hex.win or just hex.win. Click on the links in the description below to learn all that you would ever want to learn about Hex, and feel free to stop by the Telegram channel because we are here to answer any of your questions. That's all for today, guys. Moral of the story, Hex and BitConnect are two very, very different things. Take care, guys. See you later.